Okay. It's 5:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Reading of the district's mission statement, providing an exceptional education where all students are known, valued, and empowered to thrive. Are there any additional items for the agenda? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Motion by Laura Size. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joni Olson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Recognition of visitors. We have a bunch of visitors. We have Michael Roy from the paper, and we have a lot of FFA students. So welcome. Positive recognition. Any positive recognition?
I have a couple. I'd just like to say what a great job all the kids did at the play or the musical. You guys all did a wonderful job. It was very, very fun to watch. It's one of my favorite musicals too, so I love the music. Been playing it all week at my house. So yeah, just great job to everyone. It was a very good play. And then I just want to congratulate the Janesville Area Bowling Varsity team for winning the conference tournament this last Saturday, beating an undefeated WEM team. It was very exciting, and we will be participating in the state tournament on this coming Saturday. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there for those kids.
Anybody have anything else?
I have that the Bulldog Cafe is invited up to the Minnesota School Boards Association Leadership Conference. So same thing that our metal sculpture class got to do last year. The Bulldog Cafe instructor and students will be at the leadership conference talking about what they do here at JWP.
Anybody else have anything? All right, thank you both. On to the resolution for accepting donations. We have received $50 from over 50-year FFA grads, and that is going to FFA. From Caitlin and Lynette Olchenbrunz. How do you pronounce that? It's not Lynette. Lyette? Lyette? Okay.
Lynette, oh, there's
no N. Okay,
That's why.
Caitlin and Lynette Wolchenbruns. $875 for FFA. The Steel Waseca Co-op Electric, $1,000 for scholarship. Golden Apple Teacher Award, $200 for elementary PE equipment. Precision Chiropractic and Wellness, $50 for sports physicals. Napa Auto Parts, various tools we received for the CTE program supplies, and Waseca Area Foundation, $3,000 for the E.F. Johnson Scholarship. So, do I have a motion to approve the resolution of accepting donations with many thanks?
So moved.
Motion by Monica Erickson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dave Olson.
Roll call, Erickson? Here. Or yes, sorry. Roll call, you know? Let's see, Dave Olson,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Bourne,
Yes.
Cahill,
Yes.
Joni Olson,
Yes.
Dashner.
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. On to reports and presentations. You guys are up. Welcome, FFA team.
Is this working?
Yeah, you're not gonna
Okay.
hear yourself.
You won't hear yourself.
Oh, it's for online.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Ellie. I'm one of our presidents this year.
I'm Quinn, and I'm also the co-president with Ellie. I'm Maddie, and I'm the student advisor.
I'm Dylan, and I'm the treasurer.
I'm Maya. I'm the junior high representative.
I'm Harley, and I'm the sentinel.
Okay, so the 24-25 recap, the state convention. So Isaiah Barron won the regional talent and qualified for state convention, placing in the top 5.
And then Sophia Colsey, another graduate, placed first in extemporaneous speaking, earning a state trip. And then every year we go to this leadership conference called H2O where there's the state officers there. We went to that, or people that haven't been to that before went this year. I don't know if there's any pictures of that. I don't think so, but it's like activities with the state officers and a bunch of kids from like schools. It's like kind of like team bonding-ish, I'd say, is what they're like. Yeah, and then Donkey Basketball is our biggest fundraiser and event for the year, which takes place during the National FFA Week, which is in February. There's some pictures from last year, so we're really, really excited to have that on again this year.
And then this picture right here is from our National Ag Day breakfast for members in the community, or like farmers, and it's hosted with our local FFA alumni chapter. So.
Our chapter currently has 88 members, and that's big for us because we only had 76 last year. So our goal was only 80.
We have an 11-member officer team who all interviewed last spring with our interview committee. As a chapter, we received Superior FFA chapter and a silver rating for our national chapter application, which means each activity we complete during the year can be used for one of the quality standards for our program of activities.
For 26th agenda, we have the community service and activities. Farm America Day is coming up in December. Within the last few years, we have partnered up with Farm America for lots of service events. In July, members helped remulch and paint around the site. In December, some members will help with their Santa event. And we will also work with them for other events in the spring.
We are also partnering with an Illinois FFA chapter to complete a chapter exchange. In May, we will go to Scales Mound, Illinois to spend time with their members, learn about their FFA chapter, and spend a day in their ag classes, as well as complete some college tours in fall of 2026. They will come to Minnesota and will spend a day at JWP.
And then we have the state convention in April. Hopefully we have some individuals qualify. It's kind of just a good experience to learn and grow for our chapter, like Ellie talked about earlier, like the leadership conferences. And then one of our other goals this year is to receive a gold rating for our national chapter award. And then that would be able to send us off to nationals again. Some members are working on filling out the state degree application, and that's a pretty big, one of the biggest awards in the FFA, so that's pretty exciting if people can get that. And yeah, that's just the highest honor. So, and then hopefully we can have some competitions go to state too.
Yeah, I know me and Quinn are on our ag sales team. I know there's, I think, like a business management team. There's a bunch of new ones that we're having this year. Farm business management, wildlife, which goes on in December. And there was also some competitions just last week that people went to South Central for. But ag sales comes up in January. But me and Quinn have been practicing with our other team members, Tira and Aiden, to hopefully try and do good and go to state for it.
Our belt buckle point system is a way that gets our members and even especially our officer team really involved. You get a certain number of points depending on how active you are, and that gives a friendly competition to the people in FFA.
Overall, the more involved you are, the more points you get. And then at our banquet at the end of the year, the top 1% of members with the most points get belt buckles. It's a fun and unique thing for our chapter to keep us involved, and it gets a little competitive as well.
Our our monthly FFA meetings, our meetings typically last an hour, and everyone is invited to come join us for supper and an activity. And we can go over our schedule for the month. It gives opportunities to sign up for activities and things to do with FFA.
Yeah, I think that our monthly meetings are what a lot of FFA members look forward to, I'd say. It's kind of an easier commitment to still be involved, to learn about more things about FFA, and just hang out with your friends in the evening. I think a lot of kids look forward to them. Yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys. Do you guys have questions? Yeah.
So Ellie, Quinn, are you 3 seniors here? You're a senior as well, Dylan?
Yep.
How has FFA affected your post-graduation plans? Has it had an impact on what you're going to do post-graduation?
Well, I take some classes at South Central, and I know at South Central there's a lot of programs that kind of relate to FFA and are more tech involved, which I don't know if that's my calling to go to South Central for the after graduation, but it makes me realize more how involved so many people are involved with that.
I'd say for me, yeah, I also don't really know what, I'm still undecided of what I'm doing for college. But it's definitely helped me, like, with all the extracurriculars and stuff like that, like, giving me stuff to write my essays about and just, like, things like that. I've shown leadership through FFA and just, like, gives me good examples of that, so yeah.
Yeah, I'd say post-grad looks a little choppy for me still. I don't entirely know what I'm doing. But, I mean, I think it gives me a lot to talk about. For, like, South Central, I have classes there, and I talk about FFA quite a bit. It just gives me a lot to talk about, and I think it'll help me out quite a bit on my college essays as well.
I was just curious if FFA might have pointed you to all the opportunities in agriculture that you didn't know. I mean, you talked about being on the ag business or ag sales competition team. You know, ag is just so wide as to what you can do. And so I just wondered if it helped kind of open your eyes to opportunities that you might consider staying in something ag related, or horticulture, or, you know, any number of things that FFA helps you, you know, see those opportunities. So thank you. Great job.
Anything else?
No, thank you for coming in tonight.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you very
guys.
much.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
All right, on to the student representatives report.
So I would start by saying that as much as people don't like the phone policy, it has been working out really nicely to where more students are engaged in classes and they're not just constantly looking forward to getting done with their work and just to go sit on their phone or just to get through the end of class. They're actually trying to pay attention and try and do their work.
Yeah, I agree with Chloe. It's definitely been a lot better. Definitely not as many people going on the phones. Obviously, there's some people who still try and do it, but I feel like it's helped a lot with just keeping people to like not go on their phones, pay attention to class, and make sure they're getting their work done.
How did your parents react?
My mom was kind of skeptical about it at first, because she does like having the ability to contact me throughout the day, and like that was kind of taken away a little bit, but like now we just like email each other if we have any concerns.
My mom was the same way. She wasn't very skeptical. She was more like, school knows best, just follow their lead. But in the past, we've always just emailed because she didn't necessarily want me on my phone during school. But we just kept emailing as well.
Yeah, I agree. My mom she agreed with it. She thought it was a good idea to keep people off their phones.
Yeah, there are some people that are really persistent with not putting their phones away still, but I feel like even with me, it's helped me like focus more at school and do better.
Do you have any questions for him on that?
How are the communications between students? Like, are you finding that you're talking more to each other and?
Yeah, I would say that we're talking more.
Mhm.
Definitely lunch too, not being able, because
Lunch.
lunch, everyone's
Yeah.
kind of like nosy in the phones, like always on their phones, and now you kind of like, you have to talk to each other or something. And then I know a lot of people will like bring their homework down to lunch. So once they get done with lunch, you can like work on their work too. So I feel like not having your phones at lunch has definitely helped with communication between people.
Or even some people I've seen cards, I've seen, personally, my table, we always play Wordle. We make our own Wordle boxes, and we play Wordle. And that's always fun to look forward to. And it's just more of, you do get that more communication with your friends and actually be able to see them face to face and use that time.
Nice.
Did it feel really awkward at first? Like, okay, now we really have to just talk to each other?
I don't think so. I
No?
thought that it was fine for us. Yeah.
Okay.
It went really smoothly for us as well. I know some people were complaining a lot,
Mhm.
but after the first couple weeks, they kind of just admitted defeat and accepted it.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised coaching bowling that I didn't hear one kid complain about it at all. So I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it went well, so.
Anything else to report on?
I haven't really heard anything complaints on that end. I have noticed the phones have been going well. Other than that, I feel like there's too much to report on.
Tell us about the musical.
The musical was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown closer to a lot of the people in the cast, and I still just keep in touch with a lot of them beforehand I didn't talk to at all. So that's nice to know that I've grown closer with more people. It went well, the productions were really nice, so it was very smooth. And it was good to see that we had 2 full shows, so that's
Mhm.
a good turnout.
Yeah, I agree. You basically said everything that I wanted to say, so yeah, I agree.
Good. Any other questions? Anything else? All right, thank you very much. Move on to budget information and the treasurer's report.
You're gonna skip me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to. No. Superintendent report.
Oh, okay. So, we have had a number of admin out this week, or today and last week for different reasons and stuff, so I'll give you everything I can right now. We've had 5 students graduate out of our high school ELA interventions, with 2 more that are very close. Classroom teachers have observed a notable difference in the students' abilities after working on those skills they were missing. So just because 5 graduate out, that doesn't mean we still don't have students in there, because as we find more skill, or find other skills that students may be missing, they go into the intervention, so. Veterans Day went very well. I didn't get to be in there too much, but it sounds like everything went well with that. We had a very good turnout. We had close to 30 veterans here, so we had a large turnout. It was wonderful. The speaker was from Waseca, and he did a great job speaking for us that day. That was Thursday. Tuesday. Then Friday, we had Jason Lennox, who was here. Did a great job speaking with our 9th through 12th grade students, so do you reps have anything to say about that?
I thought that was really fun. Like, I think he made it really, like, interactive, and I think he really was really informative, too, because I feel like I know a lot more now about, like, mental health and stuff, and how much that can affect somebody. So.
And I've heard a lot of the girls be like, I really enjoyed that. And even from the boys, they took stuff out of it. I didn't hear a single person complain and say, oh, that was dumb. Like, everyone took a movement from that, and that was good to hear that there wasn't any side trips about anything that was uncalled for in that situation.
So, wonderful. So, good to hear. And I've heard nothing but positives from the social workers and the teachers that were able to attend, so. To put a plug in for Jason, he is at one of the churches in Waseca doing a speaking Wednesday evening. So,
What time, do you know?
ask me after the meeting and I can tell you.
Okay.
6:30 to 8:30 is what is stuck in my head, but I can look.
That is correct.
Okay.
Wednesday, November 19th,
Yep.
6:30 to 8:30.
Moving on, our winter sports are all up and running. Today, we had wrestling and boys basketball start, along with junior high, boys and girls basketball, and cheerleading. Numbers look good. So 9th through 12th grade. In girls basketball, we have 18. Junior high girls basketball, we have 16. 9 through 12 boys basketball, we have 37. Junior high boys basketball, we have 15. Wrestling, we have 21. And cheer, we have 7. And then tomorrow, Nikki is taking 9 of our juniors to the State Leadership Conference in Mankato. And then on Wednesday, she's taking 8 of our sophomore students to the Region 2A Leadership Conference. As far as buildings and grounds, the Penguin Walk signs went up today. So we're supposed to be.
Just in time?
Just in time for the weather we're supposed to be getting either later tonight or tomorrow. I did get a report from the National Weather Service right away this morning. We were right in the middle of it. Now this afternoon, it looks like the advisory is gonna go a little bit north of us. So that's a positive. All of our equipment is ready for the winter. We had a successful book fair last week that, or over the last 2 weeks, I guess, and that will be picked up on Wednesday. Director of Technology and Integration, Adam, has boxed up 513 old Chromebooks that are being sent for buyback. We don't know exactly how much they'll give us per Chromebook, but we will find that out in the next few weeks. And then he's already started to install Wi-Fi access points, the new ones that we just got. We're giving it a try here in the media center, and then in the office is where we started. And then all of the other ones are being installed throughout the building next Wednesday, November 26th. And then new switches will be installed over winter break. From the school resource officer, DARE has upgraded their program, so Sheila's working with the teachers to get dates of when she'll be teaching DARE to the different classes. She is also attending a school safety summit this week. And then we joined MSU to help write a grant for a behavioral threat assessment center of excellence out of MSU. So hopefully we hear back from that soon. From the SPED department, they talked about that we've had major progress with our students in the high school, especially with English language arts. So that's a good thing. We are seeing progress there. Starting to look at calendars for the 26-27 and 27-28 school year. I do want some information from the board on that. I'll come back to that in just a few minutes. And then been in contact with the city of Janesville to talk about more housing developments in Janesville. So kind of pushing them to let us know what their thoughts are or what their plans are moving forward on more housing developments in the area. Going back to the 2026-27 calendar, legislation passed a statute for the next 2 years, the 26-27 and 27-28 school years, that we can start before Labor Day. We can go back as far as September. We can start on or after September 1st. So next year, we'd be able to start the Tuesday before Labor Day. And then the 27-28 school year, I think we'd be able to start the Wednesday after
When you've done calendar committee, do they look for that, or are they
It all depends.
on the dates
On the
and where it
dates and
lands?
how everything falls.
Okay,
The reason that the state did this is because Labor Day falls as late as it can the next 2 years.
oh,
So,
At the end of the agenda, or towards the end, we have the discussion about this.
oh, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then we'll discuss it more later.
Okay. All right, well, anything else?
Still waiting from the state for our Minnesota student survey results. I talked to Colin from the county today, and he has county results, but he doesn't have school district results. I looked on the website this afternoon also, and there's nothing updated on the website. But New Richland took it last spring, JWP took it, and Waseca took it, so. we
how
should
was
have-
the attitude of the kids toward that?
It seemed to be fine when they took it, so.
What do you guys,
That was 5th grade, 8th grade, and 10th grade
oh,
took it, so
okay,
they didn't take it.
yep.
Oh, Chloe, you would have taken it.
What one was that?
The Minnesota student survey,
Oh, that one. Go back quick.
so. but
Okay.
We'll see what we get for
Wasn't a
results.
big deal.
Yep.
Any other questions? Jeremy?
Do we have some sense curriculum-wise or academic-wise how we're doing in the high school? F's was something that we have been tracking.
He's working on that this week,
Okay.
so. He put that in his notes, that he's, should have the numbers by the end of the week. Missing work and fail rate by the end of this week, and he'll share it out, so. We just finished with the incompletes on Friday, so we wouldn't have that till now.
Is that a fairly manual process? Or can Infinite Campus
Infinite
pretty
Campus.
much just push that out as
It'll
a
push it out to us.
dashboard
Yep, now that all the incompletes are done.
in?
Yep.
Okay. Look forward to it.
Anything else? Okay. Now we'll do the treasurer's report.
Wendy, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Yeah. So our cash balances at the end of October, our blue line, we're just kind of following the trends when we get our aid and our tax money in. It's, flowing along. We are still, concerned that that number's lower than it has been in previous years, so we'll keep an eye on checking our expenditures and applying for grants to get more revenue, so we'll just carry on with that. For student counts, I added in a box on the right showing our PSEO participation. These last few years, it seems like our actual students versus how many we can count is a gap that we haven't had in prior years. But so we've got about 44 students taking one or more PSEO courses in fall and some in spring. I kind of did a little guessing on how many credits they're taking and how much of that ADM we'll be able to capture. So, we're short about 16.8 ADM versus, those 44 kids, how much of them we can count. We can count about 27. So, if we look at our MARS data and what we've been submitting, we've got a total of about 606 students that we can count. And if we take away our PSEO kids, we're at 579. So we should see our ECSE number go up as they get service hours in and we get that data entered. So throughout the year, those service hours will increase the ECSE, but feeling a lot better about undercounting our students at 582, just with that PSEO gap. So our budget hopefully will be spot on for revenue with that. Any questions on student count? And then I just thought I'd give an update on federal funds with the shutdown and all the chaos that kind of is happening with the Department of Education, I just wanted to highlight the 4 buckets of federal funds that we get. We have a Small and Rural Schools Achievement Grant that was $40,798, and we did receive those funds in September, so that money is secured and we have it for this fiscal year. And then Title I and Special Ed grants, those dollars were allocated by the Federal Department of Ed to MDE already. So MDE has those funds. And as we have expenditures in those areas and we submit for reimbursement, we'll get those dollars. So those 3 areas, I'm not concerned about at all. We're good for this year. All 3 of those buckets, we have no information about next year, what the federal government wants to do or what they're budgeting. So we will see. The last bucket is our school nutrition meal reimbursement dollars. Every month I submit meal counts to the federal government and the state, and we get, some reimbursement from the state, some from the federal government, and the state has been, giving us our reimbursement as scheduled and planned. The federal government, when they shut down in September, said USDA has funds through October. We'll see after that. So, I'm immediately submitting at month end how many meals we had. We did get our September meal reimbursement in full. Our October meal reimbursement, when I checked on Friday, we had gotten most of our reimbursement, but we did not get our lunch. Actually, for federal, that's most of our federal reimbursement was still kind of hanging out there. It hadn't been sent over to us. I've been hearing that there's delays and things like that, so I'm not really sure why we didn't get our lunch reimbursement when we did get breakfast and milk reimbursements, but so we're kind of waiting on that $17,000 for October's meals. But I've not had any communication saying we won't get it, just that it might be late. And again, like going forward until through January, the government's opened and funded through January. If they shut down again, we'll kind of be on this same kind of, we'll see when we get the dollars kind of thing for meal reimbursement. So altogether in a fiscal year, this fiscal year, we're expecting about $565,000 from the federal government. So most of it, like I said, is pretty secured for this year. It's just that lunch, about $22,000 every month we get from federal for our meal reimbursements. Any questions on that? And that's all I've got.
Any questions for Wendy? All right, thank you. On to the consent agenda. Is there anything that needs to be pulled from the consent agenda?
I don't need to pull anything, I just have a clarifying question on 513. Was there supposed to be any red line on that one? I didn't know if it was just the date and because all the other ones, the date and the X's at the top, but there wasn't any, I didn't see any red line unless I missed it. But
Is this the same one I updated?
that's why I wasn't sure, so.
I put in the one you told me to put in.
What?
This doesn't look like mine. Should we pull that
Pull
one?
that one.
Okay. So we will pull 513 from the consent agenda so that it can be reviewed. All those policies are ones that just had technical updates, so they're non-substantial. All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Kevin Bourne, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Laura Size. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. On to old business. So we've got the second reading of those policies, which those have substantial updates based off of MSBA. Any questions on those? Okay, then the first reading of the following policies, 606, 616, and 621. Those are again ones with substantial updates. Any questions on those? All right. Moving on to the discussion of possible cooperative for track and field between JWP and WEM.
Okay, I left you a paper, 4 pages long, and Nikki and I have worked with Sam Shruen, our track coach, and we've also met with Jeff Baran, the AD, Mike Richards, the current track coach over at WEM, and Mark Winters, the superintendent over at WEM, to kind of lay this out and go through this of how it would look or how we would make this work. We're not voting on this tonight. Just wanted to give you an update on it. So WEM approached us and proposed doing a cooperative agreement for boys and girls track. They requested that we either have to do a 2-year agreement or a 10-year agreement. So they would like to do a 2-year agreement, and then we would reevaluate all of, or the other 2 cooperatives along with the track cooperative in 2 years to see if it's working for us. Essentially, the current situation is WEM's participation numbers are down. And they would like to join JWP for track. So they currently have 2 paid coaches that would be returning. We have 6 paid coaches and 3 volunteer coaches. We're in the same section. The only difference is they are in the north subsection, we're in the south subsection. And then as far as the Minnesota State High School League classification, we would still say in Class A. WEM has no designated track facilities, track and field facilities. They use different areas of their indoor and outdoor space for practice, along with going to other school districts to practice. And obviously, we have a state-of-the-art facilities for track and field practices and competition. And we have all the equipment and the facilities needed for the sport. We do have separate schedules, but they're very similar, so it wouldn't be a big deal to have one schedule between the 2 schools. So then on the next page, it's our proposal to them, and we've been through this a couple different times with the Jeff Brand and Mark over there at WEM. So WEM would join the JWP track and field program. Estimated numbers right now would be about 48 boys and 28 girls. We would stay in Class A for both boys and girls. Combining programs would put the new cooperative at about 311.5, and that keeps us in Class A. We would participate in the subsection, the south subsection where JWP normally participates, and then we would stay in the Gopher Conference. We would follow the JWP schedule, and the JWP AD along with the head coach would select future meets if needed. Additional C-Squad meets will be scheduled to accommodate the larger program participation. So that's if they need to, they'll try and find some C-Squad meets. We'd handle our registration, WEM would handle theirs. We'd keep the current coaching staff, they would have 2 coaches join us as assistant coaches. One of them would also act as the liaison or the coordinator over at WEM, coordinating their bus to bring them over to practice or different things. Coaching roles will be assigned based on each individual expertise and experience, and then head coach will determine which coaches will travel for C-Squad meets. JWP will compete all coaching contracts under the JWP master agreement. And then practices would all be here. If additional equipment's needed, items will be purchased or brought over from WEM. And then WEM will determine their best transportation option for their students. And then we'll have to figure out how many students we have. That will determine how many buses we have. But, we'll go under the Bulldog name, so it'd still be, compete under the Bulldogs team name and wear Bulldog uniforms. We may need to order a few additional jerseys in order to accommodate the total number for both schools. The program culture, expectations, and rules would remain in place for, they'd have to adopt the JWP program culture, expectations, and rules. We just have an example of what how our practices are set up in here. And then the program culture is set up in here also. And then the staffing layouts, just working through it a little bit with Sam Shruen and Nikki. Sam would stay as the boys and girls head track coach. And then for WEM track and field coordinator would be Mike Richards as an assistant coach. He specializes in pole vaulting and sprinting. And then the other coaches are listed below, along with our volunteer coaches on the back. So, just wanted to keep you in the loop on this, where we are with talks. If we're going to do this, we have to have this done and sent to the state by February 10th. In order for this to go through, both the JWP school board has to approve it, the WEM school board has to approve it, then it would go to the section, and the section would have to approve it, and then to the conference, and the conference would have to approve it. So there's 4 approvals it would need in order to go through. Neither AD is worried about the approval from the section or the conference, but just wanted to keep everybody in the loop on this.
And you guys are still working on the finance part of who's gonna pay for the buses and.
Yep. We have to bring our business managers in now to discuss that.
Any questions on that?
You'll have to maintain, academics, how you handle that,
Yep.
making sure that it's fair.
Yep.
Is that maintain insurance policy?
You
also?
maintain insurance policy over there also. For those that don't know that, the school, our athletic policy for academics is you have to be passing and making progress towards graduation, which is considered a D-. Schruen's policy is that you have to have a C- or higher in order to participate. So.
Any other questions?
The Harold Nelson is from
WEM.
WEM as well. He's
Yep.
a current
He's a current.
shot put and discus coach.
Yep.
Okay.
That kind of works out very nice for
It
us.
does.
It was nice.
Then would they get bussed over here or for like meets? Like if they have away meets, they would all meet here and then go?
That would be up to the coaches to decide, depending on which way, where we're going for a meet, would determine if we're picking them up or they're picking us up. So that'll be determined by the coaches.
But either way, they'll share buses no matter
Yep,
where they
we'd
go.
share buses no matter
So
what.
similar to how cross country works.
Yep. Wrestling works that same way.
Any other questions? So you guys are gonna get a bigger team.
Well, girls not as big as the boys, but
No.
yeah.
All right,
Okay, before we move on, they are, over at WEM, Mr. Brand is doing a interest survey to get a little bit better idea of what numbers are. So we'll know that within the next few days also.
Do you possibly expect more to join
Um,
with this if
That's,
it's a co-op?
that's part of the question also is, they're gonna put it out there of who has interest. And then the second question will be is, do you have more interest if we do co-op with JWP? So. We're asking other questions about golf also. And then we're talking about the fine arts part of it also. One act play was brought up, we talked about that. It'd be too late to co-op this year, but it's possible in the future we could co-op. They do have a, one act play. I think that was the only other one that we didn't have that they have.
Is there any discussion about boys volleyball at all?
Nothing about boys volleyball, but we did talk about adaptive bowling,
Oh, okay,
and that would be a possibility.
good.
Okay, sorry.
alrighty. Okay. Southwest Metro ISD 288 update.
Okay, so we talked about this briefly a while back, that Southwest Metro is looking at buying the Morristown building next summer and then renovating it for the fall of '26. And students that go to Southwest Metro from different school districts, Waseca, JWP, New Richland, and WEM, we'd have an increase in our levy dollars to help offset the bond cost. Well, we were paying 99.99%, our four districts are paying 99.99% of the bond renovations, which is very expensive for our taxpayers, and in the end, we become 1/15th partnership with that building. So we get a very small portion of that building for a lot of money that we would be putting into it. So I did some checking around, and it turns out that MVED out of St. Peter is a program very similar to Southwest Metro. They already have an updated facility. They did that last summer. We could go in to MVED or have a contract with MVED. It would cost about $10,000 a year, and that's about what we pay right now to be part of Southwest Metro. And after that $10,000, you just pay for each individual student that goes there. So, for example, we have 2 students that go to Southwest Metro right now. So we'd be using a lot of taxpayer dollars for them to go to Southwest Metro in Morristown, whereas if we were to join MVED, we have the $10,000, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but then we pay for each individual student rather than levying more for from our taxpayers. They're still working through all of the process and everything, and Southwest Metro doesn't even have approval from their member districts to purchase this building. So we don't know where it's gonna go. But a recommendation I would have right now would be that we would really entertain joining MVED next summer.
Would you recommend that either way, whether they purchase Morristown building or not?
Yes. To be financially responsible, I feel like we're better off going with MVED. I've talked to Tim Collins, who's part of MVED already. He said they've been really good working with MVED since he's been superintendent at St. Clair. MVED lost one of their partners last year, so there is an opening for us. We're the closest one out of the 4. It does not affect the relationship we have with Waseca. We would still have everything we have with Waseca. This is just supplementing for those level 4 students that we have.
So it's on like a first come, first served basis, like they have an opening, we get in, or?
Well, it has to be voted on by the other members.
Okay.
So they have 5 other members. We would be the 6th member. But it sounds like Sarah, the coordinator from MVED's already planted that seed for us, and it sounds like it would be a positive move.
So go for it.
So I don't need a decision tonight, just looking for any feedback from the board of what their thoughts are.
You said right now that we have 2 students?
Yes.
Okay.
And financially, in the long run, it will be better even if everything were to stay the same as it is now with Southwest Metro.
Yeah. If MVED were to grow really fast and need to do the levy dollars, they could, but that's not very likely when they just did a full remodel, and they're trying to keep costs down for districts.
Any other questions?
Comments?
Just, that we don't get locked into a contract, like Laura was asking, that if they do some remodeling, that we're on the hook for X amount of dollars regardless.
Right, yeah, what we looked at, I have looked at the MVED contract, and if they're gonna make a change or something, we just have to let them know the December before the following year.
That's great.
So, as long as we know a timeline or whatever if they bring it up.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were overly excited about, spending closer to $100,000 or 20,000 or, so, sounds very positive.
Do we contract transportation through Palmer's then to get them there?
Yep,
Is it-
we contract through Palmer, just like we contract now through Palmer to go to Jordan or Chaska.
Okay.
So they would just be going, it'd be a
Closer.
lot
It'll be closer,
closer.
yep.
And between Morristown and St.
So
Peter,
that would maybe save
you're
2.
5 minutes difference
Yeah,
approximately,
right,
so.
right.
I feel better after talking with Sarah, and I have had the conversation with Mike and Eric at New Richland and Waseca about, okay, I don't want to hurt our relationship with them because we had got a great thing going. And they're both in agreement that, yeah, this doesn't change anything with the work we do.
How will those students handle that change?
We won't make the change till summer,
Okay.
so it would be a July 1st change.
Okay.
So that, I don't feel comfortable making a mid-year change,
No.
especially for students in a level 4 program.
Yep.
So I think that would be the best thing we could do, is just make a summer change.
Good. And will those parents be considered in the decision at all, or no?
They can be, they could still elect to go through Southwest Metro,
Oh, they could.
but I'd have to look for sure. I'm pretty sure these 2 will be graduating out.
Okay.
So do we pay the 10,000 whether we have any students going or not?
Mhm.
So that we keep the place, is
Yep,
that
we
why?
keep the place.
Mhm.
They have a number of other services that we could use if we needed. We do already have our deaf and hard of hearing consultant and our physically impaired consultant are through MVED currently. So we are paying for some services from there already. However, they have early childhood special education. They have
Speech therapy.
Speech therapy. They have occupational therapy and physical therapy that could come into the building if need be. So if we ever got in a bind and no longer had those services, we have an option to go to embed for those services.
But those would all be à la carte above and beyond the 10,000
Yep.
pay to
Yes.
play,
Yep.
so to speak.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're all billable through special education.
Sure. Was our current contract the same, that we paid a certain amount regardless of number
Yep.
of students?
About that same.
So no
10
change there?
No real change there.
Okay. Again, sounds very positive.
Thank you for doing legwork on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, if nothing else with that, then we'll move on to the new business, to approve the JWP EA contract for, is it the 2025 to 2027 year?
Yep.
Is there any discussion, any questions on that?
I just would like to go on record saying that I feel like our teachers are going to be going backwards in pay because of the increase in the insurance. A lot of them are, some of them substantially, but to bring home less after negotiations is a rough thing. I just don't like doing that to them. I was in a position of freezing for years and know what that's like, and to go backwards. It's, to me, just not okay, but we're struggling too, so how do
Right.
you balance that? But covering insurance, when we gave up full family insurance, and I realize that that's something that isn't even realistic anymore, but when we gave that up, we were always promised that it would cover that our increases would always cover the insurance, and it's to the point in our government that it's just not feasible anymore, but it's a hard pill to swallow when
Right.
you're going backwards.
So we were over 10% increases over the last 2 years.
Yep.
So one of the things we talked about was looking at it over 4 years, not just this 2-year cycle.
And?
It was just one of our discussion points.
Oh, okay.
You know, we did a ton in the last 2-year cycle. We couldn't do as much this time.
Okay.
So, you know, you're looking at 11, 12% over 4 years.
Good point.
I would, for me, and I'm there, and Wendy and I are both there along with Annika, and I thought both groups did a great job communicating, talking,
Good.
working things out, and making sure everybody had an understanding of where each side was, so.
Good.
I appreciate that work that was done by both the board and
Oh,
the union
absolutely.
negotiators.
Yeah, we made a number of changes, as you saw, that weren't necessarily financially, you know, motivated, like changing the ability to come in at 7:15
Yep.
as one. We decreased the school year by a day.
Yeah.
So there were a number of things that made lives just a little bit easier that still didn't increase our budget.
Good.
And so we were more apt to give in those areas because of that. So again, it really was kind of a trade-off. The ability to pull on sick time sooner,
Mm-hmm.
reducing that by a day, that was a big deal.
And is it becoming common to do the fining if they don't?
More and more common.
Is it?
Mhm.
I never even considered that before until I was on the board, because it does leave your district in a lurch to have
Mhm.
them leave so late.
Right.
But I
Doesn't
never
happen
knew-
real often.
Well, especially if you get fined for it, I wouldn't,
Mhm.
I'd be like, no, not me. But I didn't know that
Let me
existed.
clarify. It shortens the school year by 1 day for the teachers, not the students. You still have the same number of days.
Wah, wah.
They don't want to give up their time with you.
Any other questions? All right, do I have a motion to approve the JWP EA contract for the 2025 through 2027 years?
A motion.
Motion by Dave Olson. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, now we can talk about the calendars.
Okay, sorry, I got ahead of myself. But like I said, legislation passed a statute where we can start either on September 1st or after September 1st for the next 2 school years. My thoughts on this is I'd rather just keep it after Labor Day, just to keep it consistent, because I think it could get a little messy in 2 years or 3 years if we do change it. However, I also wouldn't be opposed to going out to our families to get their opinion on us with a survey to see what their thoughts are. I don't know how many of them take a long vacation that Labor Day weekend, or how many are at State Fair for FFA, or doing other family things kind of that last weekend. My understanding is the reason the state has that statute in place to begin with is because of resorts up north and the income they make on that weekend, and also the state fair. So just looking for thoughts
How
from the
late in
board.
the year does it go then? If we don't start until after Labor Day, how late does it go then? I've never looked ahead like.
It would just go to the, like normal, like the last, either the last week in May or the first week in June.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
It's
good.
not, doesn't extend it any farther. It
Good.
just allows us to start a little bit earlier. And I would tell you that my guess, if we were to do that and create the calendars, we'd probably go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we'd still have Friday off before Labor Day to give everybody
Sure.
that long weekend. So, just wondering what your thoughts are, or how we want to approach this.
What do we think the advantage would be to?
Start
Are we
earlier.
taking days off later than, or like longer breaks in the middle then?
You're gonna
Or
have less, or shorter, right?
If we
If we
started
started
early?
September 1st.
If we started
Right.
September 1st, you'd be starting 3 days earlier.
Yeah.
So you could take a longer break.
You could
or
take a longer break, or
dismiss earlier.
you dismiss earlier.
Okay.
Christmas next year would fall on Friday. Falls on a Thursday this year, so.
I'm just
Friday.
curious how you would ask the families if you surveyed them, because they would need to know what the options are if they.
What we could do is draw up a couple calendars and see, and send them out and get a survey and see
Okay.
what their
That might
thoughts
be a
are.
Okay, I didn't know if you were just gonna ask the question, would you like to start early? Because I doubt any of them would say yes to that, but
Right.
if you pose that, you know.
But if we give
could-
them an
a
example of
longer
what it would
Christmas
look like.
break or something, yeah.
I would simplify that, because you're gonna get people opening that up and reading through it. They're just gonna say, what do they want? I would just show them what their start and end dates would be either way, and let them, I wouldn't do a whole calendar, because that'll be a nightmare. You'll start getting suggestions for how much vacation and everything else.
By the parents or the students?
Both.
The employees.
Yeah.
Yep, the employees too.
To be honest, that's where I would go, is employees. That's where I would ask. I don't know that I'd go out to student families. I mean, my opinion is to start early. You know, those 3 days, just with it being so late. But is New Richland doing anything,
They've talked about it, but they haven't made any decisions.
or even how they're gonna make a decision?
Yeah, not
Do you
really.
have an opinion?
for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, what I've found is people are gonna take their vacations when they're gonna
Correct.
take their vacations, no matter what, throughout the year, even if you ask them. So, I mean, it's the beginning of the school year. I think we have quite a few kids that are at the state fair, so I think we would be missing some kids those first few days
Sure.
for that. But-
I'm wondering how many teachers we're gonna miss those first few days, because,
Well, they can't now, right?
Yeah.
no, they can't. No, they
No.
can't. Okay,
First
never
5
mind.
days.
Never mind.
Then, yeah, you definitely would want to get their opinion, I
Yeah.
think, on this one.
But
That's what I would do, is I would
Yeah.
ask staff, like we were with the calendars.
Mhm.
That's who I would poll if you're looking to poll anyone.
Yep,
If they're overwhelmingly against it, then
yep.
regardless of parents and students being for it, I wouldn't, I'd focus on staff.
I
Okay.
agree.
You mentioned like dismissing earlier. How early would that be?
I'd have to look, but it'd be like the Friday, it's gonna be 3 days earlier. So, for example, if we would've started 3 days earlier this year, we would be done the Friday before Memorial Day. So,
I think once you find out from your staff, I think it wouldn't hurt to help the community feel more part of us if they had the opportunity to say what they prefer. But, yeah, I'd do staff
I'd
first and then ask.
caution that though, because if the staff all says that they want one way and then the community all says another, and we've already made our decision.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be like, oh, what's your opinion? And then be like, just kidding, we already decided.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
if the staff said no, I wouldn't even bother asking the
Yeah,
parents.
Right.
Yeah. But I like that community building, and then they feel partial ownership. I mean, those are kudos for us.
Do you have a calendar committee that's,
yep, we have a calendar committee.
and
It's-
who's all on it?
There's 2 high school teachers, 2 elementary teachers, a secretary, and a couple paras, if I remember right.
Custodian?
Maybe a custodian.
Yeah.
Would you open that up to a couple parents, or not necessarily?
Probably not necessarily, because there's
Okay.
a lot of little nuances that go with it also, of you can have this day off, but you can't have that day, or
Yeah.
you gotta take one or the other off, so.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Upcoming meetings, December 1st, there's a study session, and then during that or right after, depending on how long the study session is, there's the Truth in Taxation meeting at 6 PM on December 1st. December 15th, we have a regular meeting, and then January 5th, we have the organizational meeting and study session. So with that, we will adjourn at 6:38.
So to answer your question, it wasn't too long for me. It wasn't quick.
Have you learned not to answer that question?
She asked me today,
I was gonna say, Katie, don't even ask because